Welcome into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heidemann & Associates. Alex Napolis, Brian Brown. We're in Eagle Mountain for this Region 7 matchup between the Orem Tigers and the Cedar Valley Aviators. Brian, Week 8, only 2 weeks left, 3 including this one. The region really shaping up. Orem and Timpview and Springville fighting for that top of the region. Orem tonight has a good chance to walk out of here with the win against Cedar Valley.
Yeah, Cedar Valley, a program that's been an up-and-comer for the last few years, kind of stalled out, lost some really talented players from last year. You know, in high school, you can't reload as much as you have to rebuild, and I'm not sure the fans at home got to see it earlier, but Cedar Valley doing all that with the Little Leaguers coming out with the high school program. It just demonstrates what a strong community and what a tight-knit community it is out here. And really for the Orem Tigers, as you can see a little bit across the field there, they're kind of against the Cedar Valley world, if it were, Alex, tonight.
Let's take a look at the matchup at hand that we have here tonight at Cedar Valley. We'll start with the home side, the Aviators. They come into this one at 2-5 overall. They're 0-3 in region play. A loss to Westlake, a loss to Ridgeland, a loss to Maple Mountain, a loss to Springville, and a loss to Timpview. They're coming in here with a tough streak. Those 2 wins came early in the year. What does the home side have to do tonight to try to get the win here against Orem?
Well, it's all about stopping the weapons over there across the ball for the Orem Tigers. They're a talented group. You and I talked a little bit before the broadcast started about Kawakana, but also it's a multi-pronged attack for this Orem Tigers football team as my papers try to blow away again tonight.
It's really windy tonight.
It is. We're going to have another fun one, but there is a lot of depth and talent on this Orem Tigers roster. It's the first time you and I have gotten to call a Tigers game. I know they've been on Rewind a lot this season, but I am looking forward to a lot of different performances. And like I said, Kawakana is a big one. A lot of talented players on here. We'll see how it goes, as it looks like the coin flip has been completed.
Take a look real quick at this Orem Tigers side. How important is it to not look ahead in this one? You have Cedar Valley tonight. Next week you have Springville, and then the week after that you have Timpview. How important is it to not look ahead, focus on this one, get the win tonight?
Well, that's probably what Coach Lance Reynolds talked to them about in the locker room and all week long, is championship teams prepare for the week at hand, not the week forward. And for Orem, they've kind of taken their lumps at times this season. It's a very talented football team, a very tough loss on the road at Skyview. It may have been just enough to wake them up and really hammer home the point that you have to take every opponent seriously. And I think Coach Reynolds is going to have his boys ready to play tonight.
Bouncing back from that 60-59 loss at Skyview. Bounce back, got a good win against a good Maple Mountain side, 30-28, another close game. We'll see if Cedar Valley can keep this one close, as the last 2 have been for the Orem Tigers.
Yeah, and early on, I think we're going to see some effect from the weather, Alex, as the wind has picked up again, and folks at home can likely hear it disturbing the microphones a bit. We do broadcast from on top of the press boxes here, so we're out in the elements just enjoying it as much as we possibly can. And a different viewpoint for us in terms of the view in front of us, but another gorgeous landscape here in Utah, and a great night for Utah high school football.
Great atmosphere here as well as Cedar Valley. The stands is packed. The home side, the home crowd is up here in numbers. They're ready for this one, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing to luck out, but every single week it seems like we get a band performance that knocks it out of the park. I'm excited to see what happens at halftime, but pregame was incredible, and here we go with the kick.
Some ball booted away by the Aviators. That's Jackson Monson, who will boot this one into the end zone. Bobbles, but it did cross into the end zone, so it will be a touchback, and here comes the Orem Tigers for the first time tonight. It will be the Tigers in the white and the blue, going to the left of your screen here in the first quarter, and it will be the Aviators in the red and steel gray going to the right of your screen. Here comes Here comes Tayden Kava and Akana coming out.
Yeah, and you'll see number 5, Kai Wesley, as well, the big tight end. Highly coveted prospect here in the state. I'm sure they're going to get involved early as well.
Kava takes the snap. He'll hand it off quick. It's going to be Iongi, and he's going to be brought down after a good game here on first down.
Yeah, Iongi, another one of those talented players that I talked about. Really, Orem is loaded on both sides of the ball. A good mixture of younger and veteran players. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to attack on the ground first and try and use their size advantage against a Cedar Valley front that looks tenacious but a bit undersized.
It'll be second down coming up for the visiting Tigers. Kava takes the snap. He'll hand it off once more to Iongi. And Iongi's going to try to wrestle through, and he's met. Not much of a gain. There may be one for the Orem Tigers, but either way, it will bring up third down.
But you love the fight early on from Cedar Valley, right? They're taking on blocks and a little bit of extra action in the backfield on that one. I don't know that you need to get too tricky with a lot of the actions, and then that is part of what Orem likes to do, obviously, but sometimes it's just that direct handoff that makes the biggest difference.
Third down coming up here for the Orem Tigers. They need 4, ball on the 26 with 10:45 left to go here in the first. Kava takes the snap. He'll roll out to his right. Kava trying to get it with his feet, slides through and gets the first. We'll see where they mark him down. It's the spot initially is short.
Yeah, it looked like where he might have began his slide, or at least started the action of it, was short, but I think where the ball was when he actually hit the ground was just enough for a first down, Alex, and they'll move those chains, and it's a big pickup for Kava and the Orem Tigers.
First down coming up here for the Orem side. Again, in the white and the blue helmets. Kava, 2 lined up in the backfields, sends one in motion. Takes the snap. Kava, pitch out to Iongi. And Iongi has time and space. Cuts out to his left. Takes it up past the 50, to the 40, to the 30. And Iongi, he's going to take it all the way. Orem, touchdown.
Well, I said sometimes all it takes is a simple handoff, but maybe a pitch will do. As you see, Iongi snatches the pitch, and he had nothing but green and alternating green grass in front of him. As this uniquely colored Cedar Valley field led him to pay dirt and a touchdown early on for the Orem Tigers.
Fantastic pitch from Kava, and even better play from Iongi to find time and space. Here comes the PAT. It'll be Akana out there to take the PAT for Orem. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And so just like that, the Orem Tigers lead at 7-0.
Yeah, good early strike for the Orem Tigers. For Cedar Valley, it was just that one moment where they couldn't contain both Kava and Iongi on the speed option, and that little bit of a throwback to Lance Reynolds' history. The Reynolds family, deeply entrenched in BYU lore. Just an old school speed option there. And the Tigers able to take it the distance for the big score. A 70-yard touchdown on that one. Impressive early strike.
Talk about Lance Reynolds there, Brian. This is his second year as the head coach of the Orem Tigers, and what a bounce back it's been for this Orem side. Last year finished 5-7. Now we're talking about an Orem Tigers side that's 6-1 and contending for that Region 7 title.
Yeah, this is a program that's had a lot of success in recent years, bounced around from different divisions and classifications, and seems like they've found a good home here out in the region, being able to compete. A lot of the local Utah County schools obviously coming out here to Cedar Valley and Eagle Mountain, and that's a great early start to this game for the Tigers. And for Cedar Valley, it's just one play, right? You get the ball back here on offense and an opportunity to try and match that score early on.
Akana, that ball just will not stay. It falls again. The wind is starting to die down. And now here comes Akana. Akana will boot this one away. And it'll go into the end zone and out for a touchback, and we'll have our chance to see Cole Christensen and this offense for the first time tonight.
Yeah, rare you see a line drive take its first bounce deep into the end zone, but that's the nature of the win tonight. Settled down just enough to where it's not disrupting everything, but something to monitor as Cedar Valley will be playing into the wind, going from north to south here as you watch on your TV screen. For this offense, they need to come out and set a tone early on. Coach Zabriskie and his staff, they've been known to really try and establish in the ground game. We'll see if that happens tonight.
So it'll be the junior Landon Johnson trotting out here to lead Cedar Valley. As Johnson says his receivers in motion. 2 lined up on each side. Another motion. Johnson will take the snap. He'll drop back. The pressure's coming. Dumps it off, and it's caught by Laws. Laws trying to cut up and is met by a swarm of Tigers.
But great job there, pursuit by this Tiger defensive unit. And you see the ball get out to Aiden Laws. He's able to corral it, but just not able to pick up much yardage on the screen pass. Only 3 yards, but again, first down, keeps you on schedule, keeps everything in the playbook. And for the Aviators, now it gives them an opportunity to come back and try something different, maybe in the run game, or maybe another short pass out in the flat. We'll see what they do here.
Here comes second down for Cedar Valley. The Aviators take the snap. Johnson hands it off to Christensen. Cole Christensen cuts up, and he's going to be brought down. Good gain by Cole Christensen.
Yeah, like the action there. You see them motion, getting the numbers there on the wide side of the field, and then it's just the basic jet sweep handoff. But they do a good job of creating a lane for the wide receiver to cut back on, and decent enough game to get him third and brown bear.
Third and brown bear coming up. They need 4 to get the first. Johnson trying to get them on the hard count. He'll change things up at the line of scrimmage prior to the snap. Laws in the backfield. Johnson will take the snap. He'll keep, gets it out, and through the hands of McClellan. McClellan can't bring it in, and it falls incomplete.
And that's one of those ones where I wonder if maybe some shadows maybe got in the vision of McClellan there. Looked like the quarterback was definitely under duress as Orem brought pressure from the boundary side, the short side of the field. That's a disappointing end to what was a pretty solid drive to start out as it goes 3 and out.
Here comes Jenkins, the punter, to boot this one away. 4th down, the snap, the kick from Jenkins is up, and it'll be fielded by the Tigers. Good opportunity here for a good return. That's going to be taken out to his right. That's Curtis. Beckham Curtis trying to find some room, and he's finally wrestled down. But a huge return from Beckham Curtis.
Boy, that's one of those tough situations where it's a great job by the Cedar Valley punt team to execute it. Even brought somebody in motion to pick up Riker Mickelson as he was coming off the edge. They're trying to block that punt, but the wind just held the ball up in the air. Curtis able to snatch it out. He's in great position there. Get a big return, and Orem already poised with great field position to get a score right now, Alex.
Inside Aviator territory. Ball on the 33-yard line as Kahava takes the snap, rolls out to his right. The flag is out. Gets it out. Caught. But it is incomplete. And we'll see what this flag is here, Brian.
I think this one might be some early love and positivity here on the part of the Orem Tigers. We got a holding call there from the official. And again, just a reminder to the viewers at home who maybe haven't caught a game with us this year, linemen just want a hug. But they need to have consent, right? And the consent comes from those guys in the black and white stripes. And that time, it's not enough.
The flag will move the Tigers back. It'll be first down coming up for Orem.
You'd think after so many weeks together, you'd get used to me just leaving you hanging to dry on some of those. But for Orem now, it's first and long, and you can see that they're going 5 wide in this set.
Kava, another pitch to Iongi. Iongi, the same play earlier from the touchdown. Iongi again finds some room, and he makes it back almost to the original marker. Huge gain from Iongi.
Well, you talked about it, Alex. It looks just like it's the same action, a simple pitch to Iongi, but that's the beauty of this Tigers offense. It may just be a pitch sweep to the outside, but it's the disguise. You go 5 wide, you bring Iongi on the motion, and he's able to get outside. He's such a speedster when he gets to that corner and picks up almost the entirety of that penalty in one gasp.
7:45 left to go here in the first. It'll be 2nd and 11 coming up for the Tigers. Kava takes the snap. He'll drop back, gets it out to Akana. Akana up the sideline, cuts inside, takes it through. The ball is out, goes out of bounds, but a nice game there from Akana.
Yeah, and for everybody watching at home, you can see that something was playing on there, right? Because he's almost 10 yards deep in the backfield. That's a lot of space just for a simple play action. And like the move there, you're throwing a screen into the boundary, the narrow side of the field, creates a lot of confusion, but you've got numbers, and Akana able to pick up the first down on the reception.
Good bounce for the Tigers as that fumble goes out. And it'll bring up first down for Orem. Kava sends his receiver in motion. That's Curtis. 3 over to the far side. Handoff to Iongi. Iongi trying to find some space. Has to go all the way back out to his right. Stiff arm. Iongi into the end zone. Yes! Orem, touchdown!
Touchdown, Orem High School.
I'm speechless, Alex. Wow, what a run there by Filetti Iongi as he sees the wall of defenders, cuts back, has the patience, bounces to the outside, gets a block from his quarterback, and he's off for pay dirt again. And that's 2 touchdowns for Filetti Iongi as Orem takes the lead 13-0 pending the PAT.
Iongi already with a fantastic night. 2nd touchdown. Akana out again for the PAT. The ball is snapped, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, the Orem Tigers lead at 14-0. We're going to take a step aside here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSL Sports. Welcome back to Eagle Mountain. Orem has taken a 14-0 lead. The win, Brian, just not letting up. Akana can't get the kickoff off as the ball is taken down by the wind again. We'll see if Akana can now get it off here on the kickoff. Akana will boot this one away through the end zone, out for the touchback. And Brian, talk to me, man. Iongi has been absolutely phenomenal. That's 10 rushing touchdowns on the year now. What have you seen so far in the early goings of this quarter from Iongi?
Well, it's about getting the ball in the hands of your stars, and Orem's trying to do that early on by getting Filetti Iongi going. And it's been through a variety of things, Alex. They love that sweep action on the pitch, able to get him 10 yards on that one. The other one, it was just a simple handoff, but Iongi wise enough to see there was no hole that was developing there, and on that left side of the Tigers offensive line, a bit young there. Noah Sofale, a freshman starting at left tackle for them, and he's going to be a talented prospect down the road, but he just makes a great read and makes something happen. And for the Orem Tigers, that's a great start to this game.
Handoff to Laws going nowhere as the Tigers bring him down in the backfield.
A name that we're probably going to call a lot tonight, number 4, Riker Mickelson, the senior linebacker. Stout, strong defender. He stands 6'3", probably about, I'm guesstimating here because we don't have an official number on the roster, but probably about 185 pounds. Maybe an early candidate for the Alex player of the game or the dude of the game. I don't know. We're going to see.
We'll see what award we add tonight. It seems every week we're adding more and more to our broadcast. Johnson rolling out, takes a hit, has to get it out quick, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, great job there. Pressure being applied by Zeki Vaea. And you can see that he's just a junior, Alex, but you can see that this Orem Tigers football team has a good mixture of carryovers from last year's group. They did so well. And a lot of young up-and-coming players. Mentioned Kai Wesley, his younger brother Steeler Wesley, a very highly evaluated prospect, one that I think will be very talented for years to come. He's just a freshman. Mentioned, I mentioned Sufale. left tackle as well.
Johnson again with the snap. He'll roll out to his right. Trying to send his receiver to go out. It is incomplete off the shoulder pad of, it looks like that was Murdoch as it falls incomplete.
Boy, I tell you what, that may be one that Detmer Murdoch wishes he could have back. See Johnson dropping out there, trying to find anything in the flat. And all he sees there is Murdoch streaking to the end zone. It probably wouldn't have been stopped, Alex. He had nothing but open field. Unfortunately, Cedar Valley will not have to punt. I do wonder on that one if the wind affected the throw just a little bit.
Jenkins able to get the punt off. Curtis bobbles. He has to jump on it to make sure that the Aviators couldn't get on top, and it'll be Orem ball.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Jenkins to get the punt off. He was definitely under a lot of pressure. You see that one fall a little bit short, but that may have been an advantage for Cedar Valley if they could have been there to fall on that one. And again, Orem winning the battle for field position early on in this one. And for the Tigers, I don't know, Alex, what do you think? Feels like we're going to get a heavy dose of Yangi this drive.
We hope so. Yangi again has been the standout so far in this one. It is first down again inside Aviator territory. And Kaava will take the snap. He'll get it out to Akana, and Akana is going to be wrestled down in the backfield.
And that was a fantastic job by the Cedar Valley defense there to read and react. I believe it was number 40 there for the Aviators. And number 7 was the made the tackle. So Braden Jenkins again coming down from his safety position. But number 40 out there, Amari Alabi Sama, joining in on the fun. And that's really what you like to see, Alex, is that team defense where everybody's flying to the football to make the stop.
Good start for the Aviators defense, pushing the Tigers back. It'll be second down coming up now for Orem. Kaava will drop back, gets it up over, looking out to his right, and it falls incomplete.
And nice pressure there off the edge there from Jerem Klein, number 0. It was a good job of not, doesn't get to the quarterback in time, but just making his presence known. And I think that might have pushed Kaava to rush his throw just a little bit, just enough. That one falls incomplete.
Third down coming up now for the Orem Tigers. 3 receivers lined up to the near side as they look to convert. They need 14 for the first down. Kaava will take the snap. He'll drop back. The pressure's coming. Steps up in the pocket. Get it out, and it's into the end zone and dropped.
There's so much to break down on that one, Alex. It's just a great job there by Kaava in the pocket. His presence is masterful as he breaks the pressure. Sees a wide open receiver streaking down the field. I love the decision because he had 2 options there. Open receiver, open field. And he throws a beautiful ball. That one just kissed a little bit too much by the wind, and it falls incomplete. For that one, it's a huge, huge stop for the Cedar Valley Aviators.
Great defensive effort from Cedar Valley. They force the 4th down. Akana now out here to punt it away. There's the snap. Akana with the boots. The ball will go into the end zone and out for a touchback, and we'll have another chance to see this Aviators offense trot out for their 3rd drive of the game. And Brian, what are we seeing from the Aviators? What do they got to do to maybe start moving the ball a little bit more here against this Tigers defense?
They've got to find a way to control the pass rush for Orem, and I think it's simple size and strength disparity right now up front. Is the Tigers have a lot of strength in their defensive front 4, but also a lot of speed and agility from the linebacker position. And so keep going with what you've been doing. The jet sweep worked well the first drive, some screen passes, try and find some things on the wheel route. Get this Orem Tigers defense confused.
5:24 left to go here in the first. Johnson will hand, the ball is out. The ball is on the turf. It is recovered by the Tigers. Turnover, Orem ball.
This is a classic example of why it's so hard sometimes to criticize play calls, because I love what Coach Zabriskie is trying to do on that one. Unfortunately, just the execution wasn't there, Alex. You see the ball fumbled. Looked like they were trying to run a reverse or a sprint option off of that. They just never could get it materialized, and the Orem Tigers recover. I believe it was Owen Penrod for the Tigers, number 18, that fell on top of that one.
Huge turnover, and again the Tigers inside Aviator territory on first down. Receiver goes in motion. Kava hands it off to Iongi. Iongi out to the left, trying to cut back inside, and he's going to be met by a swarm of Aviators. But good move by Iongi to get some yards on this first down run.
You can see how fast and explosive he is, and how, I don't want to say easy, but how simple it's been for him this game. He actually outruns his blockade there and had to wait a second for the rest of his blockers to catch up. And I don't think I'm telling anyone at home something they don't already know, that running backs are typically faster than O-linemen in the game of football, and you can just tell how explosive a player he is.
Two lined up in the backfield for Kava here on second down. He'll take the snap. He'll hand it off. Iongi again finds a hole, and Iongi for touchdown number 3. The Tigers into the end zone.
Folletti Iongi's like a bad dream for the Cedar Valley Aviators tonight, as that's his 3rd rushing touchdown on the game. Maybe his easiest, as he's able to trot his way into the end zone for 6.
The Orem Tigers lead it 20-0. 4:33 left to go here in the first quarter. Akana out for the PAT. And the ball is snapped. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, 21-0, the Tigers lead. And we're going to take a quick step away here on the Rewind Sports Network. Iongi has 3 touchdowns. The Tigers up 21-0 here in the first quarter. Akana with a little surprise pooch kick lands at the 30. The Aviators have it, and he's going to be wrestled down, but the Aviators now will have a chance to start, come out and answer, and see if they can try to put a drive together, Brian.
That may be just the break that the Aviators need to get going, as they've got much better field position than they've had all night, Alex. And about 4 minutes left in this game. 4:28 to be exact. If we're a little slow with the clock updates tonight, it's because they have one of those new scoreboards that's just a giant video screen. And sometimes they're showing videos, and we don't always get the clock on there.
Johnson will take the snap. He'll hand it off to Laws. Laws breaks through one tackle, can't break through a second, and he's brought down after maybe a yard on the game.
Yeah, nice call there by Coach Zabriskie and his staff. Going with the ground game, you can see that the Orem Tiger front was already upfield. Even though he didn't get a ton of yards on that one, able to get 2.5 there. That much better of a start there for Cedar Valley.
Second down coming up now for the for the Cedar Valley Aviators, as the receiver goes in motion. 2 lined up here to the near side, 2 to the far side for Landon Johnson, the junior quarterback. Laws lined up in the backfield. Johnson will take the snap. He'll get it out quickly. That's caught by McClellan. McClellan trying to make a move and pushed out of bounds, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Aviators.
Again, another nice call there from Coach Zabriskie and his staff. You can see the defender creeping up from Orem. They're bringing all sorts of pressure from the inside. The offensive line holds up just enough, and it gives them great numbers on the outside. They're able to get the first down, and now Cedar Valley has the makings of a good drive.
McClellan, the top receiver for the Aviators this season, 30 receptions, 303 yards, with 2 touchdowns to go along with it for McClellan, as he gets enough there for the first down. Johnson with 2 receivers lined up to each side. He'll take the snap. He'll get it out again quickly. That's McClellan once more, and McClellan runs it out of bounds. And a good gain here on first down for the Aviators.
And something about those kinds of play calls that I really, really like, Alex, you get the defense flowing the width of the field. And sometimes we talk about using the full field. It's that 50-yard width that can sometimes wear a defense down as much as anything. And so you get a 10-12 play drive here and get a score, that could be really good for later on in the game as you're trying to mount a comeback early in the first quarter.
Johnson again with two receivers lined up to each side. We'll have a change here at the line of scrimmage. Second down coming up. Ball on the 43. They need 8 for the first down. Handoff keeps over the middle, caught and dropped into the hands of Murdoch and falls to the turf. Incomplete for the Aviators.
Boy, that was a great job, an absolute rifle there. The quarterback. Pass broken up there by number 6 for Orem. Beck Coys, he's able to get a hand in there, disrupt that one.
Great play by the Orem defense, and it'll bring up a third down for the Aviators. Receivers in motion, 3 lined up to the far side. Johnson with Laws lined up in the backfield. Another receiver here in motion. Johnson will now take the snap. He'll drop back. The pressure's coming. Gets it off on the screen to Laws. Laws trying to find some space, and he finds it out to his right. Has blockers, still on his feet, past the 50, out of bounds, and that'll be enough for the first down. Huge play by Laws and the Aviators.
Well, Aiden Laws saw what Fletty Youngin did and said, hey, I can do that too. Takes the screen pass, sees the wall of defenders, cuts it back, able to string it out. You can see hands on hips right now from this Orem Tigers defense as Cedar Valley crosses the midfield stripe.
Now in Tiger territory on first down. Johnson and this offense are moving down the field. 3:14 left to go here in the first. The Tigers lead at 21-0. Johnson will take the snap. He'll drop back out quickly to McClellan. McClellan straight out of bounds and gets 5 on the catch.
And it's a good call again from the Cedar Valley Aviator squad as they're able to get a pass out quickly to the sideline. And for Orem, they may have to start pressing their corners just a little bit as Riker Middleton was coming in with a full head of steam. Excuse me, Riker Mickelson just not able to get to the quarterback in time.
Second down coming up now for the Aviators. 3 receivers lined up to the far side as Johnson here with Laws in the backfield. Takes the snap. Out quickly to Laws. Laws is trying to break through, and he's going to lose yardage on the catch. And the Orem Tigers, the fans want a flag here. Nothing coming out, and that was Riker Mickelson again making a play.
Yeah, it was, and I understand where their fans are coming from. They see some momentum, and then that play gets stopped, and so they want that momentum back somehow, maybe a penalty. But really, I think on that one, you see a great example of what Cedar Valley's trying to do. They've got a bunch to the wide side of the field, the top of your screen, and so they're trying to get those Orem Tiger defenders spread out, right? Because they don't know which way the routes are coming off of that bunch. Throw a nice little swing pass out there. They could have just gotten to the outside rather than cutting it back in. Probably get more positive yardage on that one. Instead, it's a loss, and now it's 3rd and long.
It's a big loss here for the home side. It's 3rd and 14. They were on 2nd and 5. Almost a 10-yard loss on that one, and now we'll have a timeout taken by the Cedar Valley Aviators, Brian. And you know what? We'll take one as well here on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back to Eagle Mountain, Utah. The Aviators here on 3rd and 14. Ball on the 48. They trail at 21-0. Johnson will take the snap, looking to throw. Gets it out quick, and it's caught, brought in by Pearson. And Pearson's going to be pushed out of bounds and out. It'll be short of the first-yard gain, but we'll see what the Aviators decide to do here on 4th down.
Yeah, I don't hate it if you go for it here on 4th and about 3, and I don't want to overlook the play there. Reckon Pearson, number 13, only 5'8", but a speedy wide receiver, makes it tough catch catch out there in the flat and fights for a few extra yards. And, you know, if we've seen anything on this drive for Cedar Valley, it's that they can get 4 or 5 yards here.
And the offense will stay out there. Johnson and his troops on 4th down. They need 4. 3 receivers lined up to the far side. A fake snap to Laws, and Laws gets it, and a first down. Brian, even I didn't see that one coming.
Well, he may not win any MVP awards, but Jace McClellan absolutely won an Emmy or an Oscar for his performance of what's the call, Coach? Distracts the Orem Tigers, and they're able to get the first down. Just a great job. Love the call. And a big pickup by Aiden Laws for a Cedar Valley first down.
The trickery, the dark arts from the Cedar Valley. We love it.
The trickeration.
First down coming up now for the Aviators. 1st and 10, ball on the 37 in Tiger territory. Johnson and his have 10, have 9. And Johnson will now get the snap. He'll get it out quick, and it comes off the hands of McClellan.
Yeah, and that was a tight window there. As number 22, Dylan Dye, right in the lane there. And Johnson gets away with one a little bit there, as he's got a really strong arm and tries to just zip it in there on the slant. It's a very tight window. And thankfully for the Aviators, it falls incomplete rather than being intercepted. But, you know, nevertheless, they've done a great job on this drive, really sustaining it.
Good response for the Aviators after going down early. Johnson will take the snap. He'll hand it off to Laws. Laws trying to barrel through the middle, and he's going to be brought down after about 2 on the gain here from Laws.
We talked about it at the start of this drive, Alex, that the more plays, the more flow you get going sideline to sideline, the big guys up front start to get tired. Seeing hands on hips. But also, look at the push from the offensive line. They get 3 or 4 more yards on that one. I'll be honest, Aiden Laws was a shoestring away from breaking that for way more yards.
It will bring up a 3rd down, an important 3rd down here for the Aviators, as Johnson and Laws lined up 3 receivers out to the far side. Johnson looking that way, and it's through the hands and falls incomplete, intended for number 23, Luke Ballard, and it hits the turf.
Well, it went through Luke Ballard's hands, but it paused for a second. It was almost like it found a home with Luke. It was just like, I think I'll stay here, but just so much strength there from Johnson in the quarterback position, and just not able to reel that one in, and almost completed, almost intercepted, did everything, but he caught.
And it'll bring up another big 4th down decision for the Aviators. Moving down the ball, moving the ball down the field pretty well, but another big 4th down decision coming up. Johnson and his troops now take line up.
And we'll see what Professor Zabriskie has in up his sleeve.
Johnson will take the snap. He gets it out quick, and that one caught by Murdoch. Murdoch escapes the first challenge. Tries to break through the second, but then a swarm of Tigers coming through. It'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and what do you know? Riker Mickelson there right from the get-go, able to get initial pause there on Murdoch, and does a great job of escaping the one tackle. Just so much pressure there from the Orem Tigers defense, but I think this is a difference for Cedar Valley, as those guys will come to the sideline. That was 4th down. But as the offense comes to the sideline on that one, Alex, there's a lot more confidence, especially for those big guys up front, because they held firm on that. They could have probably thrown something a little deeper downfield.
Kava, hand up the middle. It's run up the middle by number 9, Oliver Bills, with a good run there. And that's enough for a first down, Tigers.
And I'm shaking my head up here in the booth, because now the problem is that Cedar Valley's giving the ball back to this Orem Tigers offense, and it is an explosive unit. You know, you thought you had things kind of settled down with Youngie on the sideline, and Oliver Bills comes in. You can see his speed right there at the point of attack.
Great run from the junior as Kavas drops back, steps out to the right, escapes the pocket, the pressure coming, and it falls incomplete. Intended for, looks like that's number 5, Kai Wesley.
And there he is again, Jerem Klein. I want to call him Agent Zero, but I wonder if the zero is because that's how many catches he allows when he's out there in pass defense. Nice job there on that one. For one, get the breakup, but also to not interfere at all with the offensive player. Just a great job.
It'll bring up second down for the Tigers. Ball on the 38. After the incompletion, Kava takes the snap. Looking to pitch it off. This time they had it red. Kava has to go up the middle and brought down after 2.
What's the old no look, or excuse me, the fake pitch there? He just dips it out there, cuts back inside, and what could have been a dangerous play wisely ends up being a nice gain for Kava. As the quarter ends here, teams will flip the sides, and we'll see what happens. Again, the wind has died down just a little bit from the early pregame where it was really starting to whip. And the Orem Tigers up 21-0. They're looking to get another one before halftime.
End of the quarter, 21-0. Tigers lead it. We'll take a quick step away here on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. A run up the middle is going to be met and brought down, and it'll bring up fourth down for the Tigers.
And you see another one of those option keepers there by Kaava, and just not able to pick up enough to really move the Tigers' offense, and it looks like they're going to punt the ball away. And we got a delay here because the clock has not started yet. There we go.
So we're going to run the clock here a little bit, as, like Brian mentioned, the clock did not restart here at the stadium. Now we have the clock set, and we'll have a punt situation here for the Orem Tigers. Akana will boot this one away. And this one will take a bounce, a lucky bounce for the Aviators. Comes back, and it'll die at the 45. Good bounce for Cedar Valley.
And this will be an interesting adjustment for Akana because he's a power kicker. So those big, high punts are really his staple of his game. And that when it gets caught up in the breeze, not only that, it just takes a terrible kick for the Tigers. Bounces back for the Aviators now. Again, good field position. You had a confident drive last time around. Didn't get points, but that could be just enough that they need to break through on this one.
First down now coming up for the Cedar Valley Aviators as the receiver goes in motion. And we'll have a change here at the line of scrimmage again for Johnson and his offense. Johnson will take the snap. He drops back. He's looking to go deep, and it is overthrown and incomplete, but Landon Johnson showing off the arm there.
And it was decent coverage over there by the corner. Not a lot of space, but just overthrows his receiver. And Alex, you mentioned it was a big throw. Johnson has a live arm. There's a lot of talent in his arm. I'm not surprised that we're able to see that one. I think now the adjustment is you're throwing with the wind, right? That's at any level. That takes a lot to adjust to, but especially at the high school level. But I would look for the Aviators to continue trying to throw the ball just a little bit deeper now that they're not dealing with the element as much.
Second down now coming up for Cedar Valley as Johnson takes the snap. He drops back, gets it out, looking for Pearson. And again, it goes over the hands of Pearson and out of bounds. Incomplete for Cedar Valley.
And Will Rasmussen bearing down for the Orem Tigers on that one. Wonder if maybe Pearson heard the footsteps just a little bit. Not able, although he was contorting pretty good on that one, trying to reel it in. So now, unfortunately for the Aviators, 3rd and long. We've seen them risk it before on 4th down. I don't know if you want to necessarily do that at the position that they're on in the field right now.
Empty backfield coming up for Landon Johnson. Laws now goes into the backfield. 3rd down and 10. They need 10 to get the first. Aviators. The pressure coming. Johnson will roll out to his right. It's caught and pushed out of bounds, but a big catch catch for Cedar Valley, and that should be enough for a first.
That is going to be a first down. Multiple players to highlight. A great job by the offensive lineman there. He could have reached out and hugged somebody, but he didn't. Laid off, allowed Johnson to roll out. He pays the price on the throw, but the end result is a first down. And I tell you what, Alex, I can promise you, first downs, that pain doesn't hurt nearly as bad as it does on fourth down.
Big catch made there by Pearson. On third down, we'll have a first down coming up here for the Cedar Valley Aviators with 10:57 left to go in the second quarter. Johnson will drop back, rolls out to his right, looking to go deep again, and it is tipped and incomplete, intended for Murdoch. I believe that was Coy out there to make the play.
Yeah, it sure was. Beck Coy does a nice job of tipping the ball, and Murdoch almost had another chance to catch it. And again, talk about the adjustment, right? The weather plays a factor, especially this wind, and it's kind of swirly right now, Alex. It's going back and forth and just makes it that much harder to complete throws, even though you are throwing with the wind.
Big play by Coy. If Coy doesn't get his hands up there, Murdoch has a really good shot of bringing that one in. Instead, we'll have a second down.
A lot of pass plays here early on for Cedar Valley. I wonder if they look to go back to the run game.
As he hands it off to Laws. Laws will break out to his right, and it brought down. Good gain by Laws here on second down.
Well, I'm not going to try and claim Tony Romo levels of fame, but every now and then that football sense just starts tingling. And you know, former offensive lineman, I always know when it's time to go back to the run game, and you see him pick up 3 to 4 yards there. Puts him in third and a little longer, but this is still manageable, and they've been able to convert well on third down already this drive.
Third down coming up again. Johnson will take the snap. Receiver in motion. 3 lined up to the near side. Pearson gets it out quick. He has a blocker. Pearson trying to get past. It looks like that's Mickelson and can't get the first down, but a huge gain from Pearson here on third.
I don't know if you can get anything past Riker Mickelson. He's been everywhere on the field tonight. Great completion there. I love what Coach Zabriskie and his staff does, how they use motion in this offense, and they're up ready to go for it here on fourth down and about 3, Alex.
Johnson getting ready to take the snap. Fourth down play, a big fourth down coming up here for the Aviators. Looking to extend the drive. Laws will go out to the far side. Tie formation here as Johnson will take the snap. He'll roll out to his right. The pressure's coming, has to get it out. Caught and steps out of bounds. A huge completion made by Dastrup.
This is just a clinic now from Coach Zabriskie and his staff. You see them motion to an empty set, right? So you're already stressing that Tiger secondary. And you run a nice flat route, get Johnson rolling out. He's able to elude the initial defender on the outside, so it gives him 2 options. He can either throw it or he can run it. And he rifles that one in there for the first down, and confidence makes such a difference in the high school level. I cannot preach that enough. At any level in football, really.
Johnson again on first will take the snap out to Laws. Laws trying to get it back to the original line of scrimmage, and he's going to be wrestled down. Who else? Riker Mickelson there with the tackle.
I lay all that praise, and then you have to think about, do we run a play against Riker Mickelson's side or not? He's just been fantastic tonight, and another great job of avoiding. They had numbers on the screen. They had blockers out there. They're able to suck the defenders outfield. But Riker Mickelson is just incredible. He's got great wingspan, too, and makes the tackle. And I need to stop just drooling up here in the booth over his play.
Early candidate for a dude of the game.
Yes.
Absolutely. Second down coming up for the Cedar Valley Aviators. As that ball takes a snap, Johnson gets it out quick. It's Dastrup with another catch. Dastrup making a move, passes the Orem Tigers up the sideline, and brought down by the tip of the shoelace. Huge play by the Cedar Valley Aviators.
They found something that's worked with that little slip screen to the wide side of the field, and a lot of it is just that arm talent from Johnson. There's pressure coming from all over the place, but he rifles it out there, and I use the word rifle on purpose because the ball really jumps out of his hand, especially on those wide. That's a 40-yard throw across the field like that.
8:45 left to go here. Johnson will take the snap. Hand off to Cole Christensen. Cole Christensen into the end zone. Touchdown, Aviators!
Cole Christensen was not about to go quietly into that good night as he takes the handoff, cuts inside of the blockers, and sprints his way to the end zone for a house party. And it's a touchdown, Aviators, as they put 6 up on the board, now trailing the Tigers 21-6, pending that PAT.
Great move there by Cole Christensen as he gets the touchdown. And now Jenks out there for the PAT. The ball is snapped, the kick is up, and Jenks almost hit the flagpole. Put enough power into that, but gets it through the uprights, and it's 7-21 Orem lead.
Yeah, that one looked like it almost bounced onto the opposite softball field. Again, you can see the effect that the wind has as the ball gets up there. Didn't matter on that one because the Aviators did it the old-fashioned way through the ground game. It's a big, big touchdown for this Cedar Valley squad as they fight their way to get back into it. Really impressive back-to-back drives there for Cedar Valley, and for Orem, it was such a quick, explosive start. They've got to start thinking about how they're going to respond now.
Love this Aviators offense kind of building themselves into the game. They've gone better and better as the game has progressed. Pull a touchdown back. We'll see now the defense and how they can stop the Orem Tigers.
This is the unique part about home field advantage in high school, right? Cedar Valley practices out here all the time. They know exactly when the wind starts, exactly when the wind dies down. They know what quarter they want it with them, against them, all that kind of stuff. And for Orem, I believe this is their first time playing out here, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's their second, but it's the first time with Coach Lance Reynolds as head coach. And so that's one of those things that coaches learn as they go into these games is thinking about those minute details. And I'm not sure that we're to the point necessarily where that's going to be a factor, but this is what you hear coaches talk about things in an interview like wind and kickers and whatever little tiny edge they can find to help them win games.
Here come the Orem Tigers once more. Kaava takes the snap. Iongi back in. He'll run it up the middle, and he's going to be brought down after a good gain from Iongi.
He does a nice job there. If he could have been just a little bit more patient. Big number 50. Appo was coming down the tracks, and he was about to lay out that Cedar Valley defender, but Iongi cuts inside, able to pick up 4 yards. And for a back like him, if he can learn the patience part of it, that's the next progression. Everything else is there.
Iongi goes in motion, and now Kaava drops back. Blocked! Tries to get it out, it's blocked, and it's recovered by the Aviators! We'll see, did that ball come out, Brian? Was that a pass?
We'll see what officials say here, but to me that looked like his arm was going forward, which that would, yep, it is, okay. So one of those plays where they decide to let the play out, and then once everything has been settled, just confirm with one another. It was a forward pass, it's tipped, knocked down. But again, that negates a great job there by the Cedar Valley defensive front, as they did have a nice little slip screen set up to the far side of the field.
Great defensive play from the Aviators. Can they do it again? That one out quick to Akana, and Akana out of bounds and out. That's enough for a Tigers first down.
Well, I tell you what, it's just such a luxury for Kaava back there to have so many different receivers and weapons to throw to. See, being able to have Iongi in the option game, being able to throw to Akana. You haven't even heard Kai Wesley's name called. You see big number 5 on the near side of the field here. He's another weapon. Haven't even had to use him yet to this point.
First down now for the Orem Tigers. 2-back set for Kaava, and he'll hand it off to Iongi. This time Iongi going nowhere as he's met by the Cedar Valley defense.
But he almost had another one. It looks like they'd blown the play dead, but he had escaped the defender somehow and sprinted to the outside. And for a back his size with his speed to have that kind of fight, grit, that determination in your running style, it's very impressive.
Great night so far from the senior running back, as it'll bring up second down now for the Orem Tigers as Kaava will drop back. The pressure's coming. Gets it out, going deep, and it is caught! Caught by the Tigers! Akana with a huge catch!
What a throw. Kaava throwing into the wind. It's basically a jump ball. I don't know how Akana came down with that one, but he pops right up with it. That's a first down. That's a huge play for this Orem Tigers offense.
Akana making the play, a huge catch for Orem. It'll set him up inside, or I guess just outside the red zone. Here with the ball on the 21, the Tigers taking the snap, empty backfield. Kaava gets it out quick. It's Iyongi. Iyongi cuts inside, cuts outside, and Iyongi into the end zone. That's touchdown number 4 for Iyongi.
Foleti Iyongi is leaving no doubt on this one as he takes the pass reception on the screenplay, cuts inside the nice block there by number 71 Maui Tanada, and skirts into the end zone for 6.
3 on the ground, 1 through the air, and Iyongi having himself a night. The Tigers up 27-7 pending the PAT. Akana, the kick is up and the kick is good. And just like that, Tigers make it 28-7 over the Aviators.
I'm not sure what connection Foleti Iyongi has with our cameraman tonight, but Trevor Allen has seen him be explosive in now 2 games this year, as he's already got 4 touchdowns, all 4 touchdowns for the Orem Tigers here in the first half. And as we saw this Cedar Valley offense start to find their rhythm, who knows how many more he's got in him tonight.
Now, how will the Aviators respond? Like you mentioned, Brian, a good drive last time around, got the touchdown. We'll see if they can do it again and keep this one, try to close the gap before they head to the break.
I'm sorry for everybody at home. You're going to get sick of me talking about the win, but it is going to adjust how Orem has done things on the kickoff. Before, Akana could barely keep the ball upright. Now he's kicking into that wind. I mentioned that he is a big, powerful kicker, so that ball flies high. It will get held up in that wind. How does that affect things? Do you maybe look to squib it here, or does that possibly interfere with catching the ball if you're Cedar Valley?
Akana to boot this one away, and as he's running up, the ball comes down.
Maybe some problems just keep carrying over, right?
We'll try it again as Akana now steps up, boots this one away. This one's a low driven kick, and it'll bounce into the end zone and out for a touchback.
Wow, boy, that was a really close one, as it looked like it was almost going out of bounds. Part of the reasons why the Aviator offensive player there let it go, it looked like it was Laws there that was trying to scoop that one up. I believe Aiden Laws was the one who was going to return it. Makes the wise decision to let it bounce, because if it's out of bounds, you get the ball at the 35. If it's in bounds, you get the ball, or if it goes out through the end zone, you get the ball at the 20, right?
6:24 left to go here in the second quarter, and we'll have flags coming out.
And I think this one's going to be movement up front. We'll see if the defender was drawn or not. This is one of those plays where you realize just how much ground the officials cover at the high school level.
So this one will go against the Orem Tigers. We'll have give the Aviators a little bit of yardage here on first down. So it'll bring up 1st and 5 for the home side. .6:24 again left to go here in the second quarter. Orem leads it 28-7. Johnson will drop back, gets it out quick. McClellan with the catch. McClellan trying to find some extra yardage, and McClellan with the first down.
I want to give these Cedar Valley wide receivers a lot of credit. They've showed no fear tonight, taking on every single one of those Orem defenders and fighting those extra yards. That when McClellan picks up the first down after the offsides, now all of a sudden you get that much more breathing room if you're the Cedar Valley offense.
Empty backfield as Laws goes in motion, now lines up in the backfield. Here comes Johnson with 3 receivers lined up to the far side. McClellan, the lone receiver, here to the near side. And now Johnson will take the snap. He'll drop back, gets it out quick. Caught and brought down, and after a good gain, maybe 4 on the catch, I believe that was Murdoch. Excuse me, that's Pearson.
Yeah. Nice job by Pearson. He loves to go in the midst of that defense. He's only 5'8", Alex. Does a great job of finding the holes and able to reel that one in. And nice 5-yard pickup, 4-yard pickup. Oh, we're gonna get another penalty here.
Good gain by Cedar Valley, only to be negated by the flag. A false start here for the home side. We'll push them back, and we'll have 2nd and 11 instead of 2nd and 5.
We'll see what Cedar Valley's able to come up with. They've been able to get those 4- and 5-yard chunks almost all game long. Haven't seen them connect on a big play yet in the throw game.
5:33 left to go. Johnson will take the snap. He'll drop back, looking out to his right. The pressure's coming, has to escape out to his left. And the Johnson somehow gets it out. A good catch over on the far sideline. And how about the junior Landon Johnson extending the play?
It's a great job. He had Jace McClellan wide open here in the flat, but just not able to get through his progression quickly enough. That Orem Tigers defense was bearing down on him, and Johnson does a masterful job of avoiding that rush, scampering to the outside and getting a completion. And they're 3rd and 7 after the penalty, Alex. That's, all things being equal, a great place to be in.
Still needs 7 for the first down. Johnson doing a good job there on the last one to extend the play. Here comes the snap. Laws with a hand up the middle, and he's going nowhere. Maybe a yard on the gain for the Cedar Valley Aviators.
Just short of the first down.
Tried to catch that Orem Tigers defense off guard. And that one, the Tigers not bringing the pressure like they have previously, and they have to punt this one away. The good news is that you should get a significant flip of the field as the wind is at their backs. Be kicking with the wind.
Braden Jenkins out to boot this one away. And falls at the 20, fielded by the Tigers. Here comes Curtis. Curtis gets out to his right, gets past 1, gets past 2, can't get past the 3rd, and is brought down, but a good gain from Curtis.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen Beckham Curtis have a good return. Just a sophomore. You can see a speedy player at 5'10", 180 pounds. Does a nice job of getting about a 20-yard return on that one. And putting this Orem Tigers offense right where they want to be, in position to eventually get another touchdown.
3:53 left to go in the second quarter. The Tigers lead it 28-7. And now an opportunity for Kyle on this offense to add some more. Iongi out to the left, has time and space. Iongi, he's going to take it to the house. How about it? Iongi with another Tigers touchdown.
Number 1.
Running out of ways to describe the way that Letty Iangi has been able to put the ball in the end zone, but he is a walking explosive play, or more accurately, a running explosive play, as all it takes is one handoff for him to put it in for 6. The Tigers now go up 34-7, pending this extra point.
What a first half performance from the running back. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 touchdowns in the first half for Iongi. What a performance.
Yeah, he's done it in every conceivable way, too, Alex. Handoffs.
And it's a fake. It's a fake. Akana on the 2-point conversion gets it into the end zone, but a flag comes out.
I don't know if this one's going to be a hold or what, but what a... We'll let the officials sort this one out, but what a call there by Coach Reynolds and his staff. Caught us all sleeping with the fake there.
What a call by Orem, and what execution. The fake snap just straight to Akana, and Akana, with all the time, finds that corner of the end zone, but unfortunately the flag comes out. We'll see what the final call is here.
It does look like the officials are coming to confer with Coach Zabriskie over here. We'll see what it is. That area, I'm not exactly sure what the penalty is, Alex, so we'll let them work it out.
And we got a
personal foul there. I think he wanted to say that it was unsportsmanlike conduct, and so they'll re-kick this one. I'm sure if that was an illegal hands to the face or what. We never got a secondary signal off of that one, but that's a big penalty on the PAT. Now it's going to put this one at about the 18-yard line.
So Akana got 2, doesn't stand, and now Akana will have to kick it from a distance away on the PAT attempt. The ball is snapped, the kick is up, and Akana's kick is good. And so we'll have the 1 added on, 35-7, Tigers lead it. Brian, we'll take a break, and we'll be back with more action here on the Rewind Sports Network. Back into Cedar Valley as the Aviators trail 35-7 against the Orem Tigers. The Tigers boot this one away, caught just inside the 1. Laws tries to bring it out. It's a good, decent return here as we get past the 20, and a late flag comes out.
A little bit of an extracurricular on that one, and the officials are going to throw the flag every single time when they see the extra push at the end. When you try to throw someone down or put a little extra on it, especially that late in the play after the whistle's blown, we are never, ever going to let that go. So that's a big penalty. Now that's 2 back-to-back personal fouls against the Orem Tigers. And, in a game where you're up 35-7, that may not have as big an impact as a game against Springville or some of your other region opponents down the road. So for Coach Reynolds and his staff, for what's been a almost flawless first half, will likely be a point of emphasis when they go to the locker room.
And another, as you mentioned, Brian, another personal foul will give some more yardage here to the to the Aviators, as they have 3:37 left on the clock to try to get something on the board, close down the gap before we head to the halftime break. It'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 41-yard line. Ball is snapped. Johnson drops back. Pressure coming. Escapes out to his left. Johnson gets it out. Caught. And Murdoch is pushed out of bounds, but Murdoch with the catch.
A great job by Murdoch to secure the ball there. Even better job by Johnson. He's rolling out to his left. That's a really difficult throw to make. for a right-handed QB. He puts that one spot on the money. They're able to secure the catch and throw. And with 3:30 left on the clock, Alex, Cedar Valley already across the midfield stripe. This may be an opportunity for them to get one more score before half.
First down coming up for the home side, as the people here at Cedar Valley get ready for the halftime festivities. A quick reverse into the hands of number 23, Luke Ballard, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, Luke Ballard took a shot there from Will Rasmussen at the end of that one, but the damage had already been done as Cedar Valley gets a big pickup there and another first down, and only takes 10 seconds off the clock. If they execute properly here, they may get a chance at another possession.
Johnson will take the snap. He'll drop back out to his right, over the middle, and incomplete. Ball intended for, it looks like that's number 23, Luke Ballard again.
I'm not sure if they just sped that one up a little bit too much, not able to connect on that one. It'll be a 2nd and 10, and we've seen Cedar Valley execute well in these longer downs here in the second quarter. It's been almost a different team entirely compared to all the miscues in the first half.
Second down coming up for the Aviators. Murdoch in motion, takes the snap. Loss is met, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield for a loss.
It was a nice job there by number 18, Owen Penrod, as he comes up field and able to make the tackle there.
Aviators doing a good job moving the ball down the field. Now they're in a hole. It's 3rd and long coming up. 2:30 left to go here in the second quarter. Johnson with 3 receivers lined up to the far side. Johnson will take the snap. He'll drop back out to his right, and it is incomplete. Intended for Luke Ballard, who can't bring it in.
Yeah, a little gust of wind may have caught that one just enough to get it outside of Ballard's reach. A long pass. As you look at it, you're throwing from this near side hash all the way to the far sideline, and 2:18 left. Cedar Valley's kind of in no man's land there at the 38-yard line, and so going for it here on 4th down may kind of be the only option. We may see a quick kick. At high school level, always an option.
Receiver in motion, that's Murdoch. And now Johnson gets it out quick. McClellan off his chest, incomplete. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, they had the old Utah play, the old hook and ladder there. The hitch and pitch, ready to go, but just not able to complete it. It looked like the wide receiver was thinking about the pitch before he secured the actual catch. And unfortunate turnover on downs there. I like the call, but at the end of the day, it's all about the execution. And so Orem will now get the ball with 2:15 left, Alex. After the last drive, that's more than enough time for them to get into the score on the board. And we know that Coach Lance Reynolds is going to be aggressive.
As you mentioned, Brian, last play, one touchdown. That's all they needed. And now the Orem Tigers here with 2:15 left to go. They're going to want to try to add more to this scoreboard before we head to the break. Kava will drop back. And he's going deep. And it is off the hands of the defender. Falls to the ground. Is that number 17, Ty Krinky there trying to make a play.
And you can see Akana putting his hands up, kind of looking around for a flag of some sort. But I think the bigger problem with that is the ball just died as it got into the wind a little bit. The defender in good position gets his head around. The ball falls incomplete. And we'll see what Orem's able to do here on 2nd and long.
Last time Kava went for Akana deep. They were able to connect. This time it falls incomplete. The pressure coming, handoff, quick handoff there to Oliver Bills, but he's going nowhere.
Yeah, tried to make it look like it was a little bit of a draw play, and Cedar Valley was not fooled. And this defense has done a good job. They've played their assignments. They've played up to everything they're supposed to do. The problem has just been Fuleti Iongi. He's almost invincible out here tonight.
A big third down coming up here for the Aviators as they look to get the ball back. Handoff to Iongi. Iongi out to his left, escapes the first one, still on his feet, keeps those legs churning, and finally brought down. Iongi trying to escape out to his left again.
But it's just the sheer power in that one. We talked about his speed and his explosiveness. And that one, he's just dragging defenders and dragging his jersey out. That's just sheer effort and will for Fuleti Iongi. He puts the Orem Tigers in position now with about a minute left to play in the half to convert here on fourth down, and they still have an opportunity to score after things were starting to look dark.
The clock continues to tick away here in the second quarter. 50 seconds left, fourth down. Still Orem. They have to take a timeout. The play clock ran out. Timeout taken by the Tigers prior to the delay of game. And so with 42 seconds left, Orem on fourth down. Brian, we talk about Iongi. What have you seen from this Orem offense here in this first quarter that has made them so good and so explosive?
But it's just how they use Fuleti. They let him do a variety of different things. We saw him take a screen pass for one touchdown. We saw him in the speed option, and with Kaava at quarterback, that really gives you a dilemma if you're a defender. Do you take the quarterback who's the initial guy, or do you take the pitch? And so you're kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't. And that, combined with his ability, is why he's so fantastic. We've seen him take just a simple inside handoff, reverse field, escape tacklers, and score a touchdown. So after the timeout, Orem has rethought things. They're going to punt this one away, which, I guess if you're thinking about it, the bigger thing is you don't want to give Cedar Valley the ball there at the 45-yard line with less than a minute to go and an opportunity to score.
And Akana with a fake. Akana trying to get past the 6, does, and he's pushed out of bounds. How about it? Akana with a fake.
Oh, yeah, there's that too, right? That's the advantage of having an athlete the caliber of Kawa Akana out there doing your kicking and your punting. He's a legitimate threat to run, and you can see he picks up the first down almost with ease. He just steps out of bounds basically to stop the clock. This Orem Tigers offense will come back out here, and with 35 seconds to play,
that's back-to-back fakes for Orem. They went for the fake 2-point conversion, fake PAT on the touchdown. Now the fake punts, a quick pass out, caught, brought down. It looks like that was Beck Coy with the catch.
Yeah, shout out there to number 7, Braden Jenkins, the safety coming on from the backside here, able to tackle Kaava and bring him down, but not before the ball was away. And I really haven't talked a ton about Taden Kaava tonight. He is a big quarterback. 6'4", 200 pounds. We talked a lot about Johnson on the other side of the ball for Cedar Valley, but Kaava, big explosive athlete, strong, has great pocket presence. He's thrown a couple of real dimes out there as well. And we talk about this, it's just the list for this Orem Tigers offense just keeps adding up of ways that they can attack you.
From an outsider and a guy who has bad takes, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in 5A.
You watch enough high school football to know the truth, to have a good opinion. I would agree.
Here comes Kaava. The drop back, he goes out and caught by Akana. Akana Akana pushed. He's still on his feet. Finally pushed out of bounds, but Akana brings it in.
And 26 seconds, excuse me. Wait, 20 seconds there. 20.6. We'll get it eventually.
First down coming up here inside the red zone. Now for Kaava, and he's over the middle looking for Coy, and that's incomplete, or excuse me, intended for Iongi. And Kaava slow to get up, but now back on his feet.
Yeah, he took kind of an awkward shot on that one and almost got hit. Got hit right as he was releasing the ball, and I'm not sure what the debate is here amongst the officials. We had one that blew a late whistle. I'm not sure if there was a penalty or something that we missed.
Looks like there was a flag, but
didn't actually see that far side official throw the flag, but illegal man downfield, and I just, we talk about love and positivity. Don't pick on the big men. They just want to be a part of the action. It's the worst rule in sports. I'm sorry. Showing my bias a little bit.
No big man touchdowns.
Who doesn't love a thick
Can't allow
six?
it. Can't allow it. First down coming up for the Orem Tigers. Kava will drop back. And the pressure's coming. Tries to escape, but he's going to be sacked. The clock keeps rolling with 9. And the timeout taken.
Number 40, Amari Olavisama.
Yeah, nice job there by Amari Olavisama. He's able to finally drag down Kava. And you can see the strength on that one, Alex. Able to absorb that first defender and almost break away from it. But by that point, there were enough Cedar Valley defenders that had gotten home. And, this Cedar Valley defense is really making a great stand right here. It's been a tough night for them all night, but they've competed and stayed in the fight the entire time. And love the fight, the effort still. It's 35-7, and for a lot of people, that may be enough to call it a game. Not the Aviators. They came here for a full 48.
So there's 8 seconds left on the clock. It's second and goal from the 21-yard line, Brian. You get one shot at the end zone here and then take the 3, or what?
I mean, with Akana back there, the kicker, maybe you have a fake in the bag that we don't know about, but I think really what it's about is one shot here and try and get a quick one in.
Kava drops back, going over the middle, incomplete, intended for number 5, Kai Wesley, and it looks like that was Brady Zabriskie who was trying to get up there and make the play for Cedar Valley.
Yeah, we're kind of at an awkward angle here, so you couldn't exactly see if Zabriskie got a hand on it or what, but looking for the big target, Wesley, down the middle of the field, and he's caught a few of those already this year. He's fantastic basketball player in addition to being a great football player, 6'7", 225. He's a big target out there.
Akana out for the field goal try. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Orem Tigers add 3 prior to the break, but there's still 1 tick left on the clock.
25, Cedar Valley, 7.
We really have seen everything in this first half, Alex. All we needed at that point was just a field goal and cross it off or blot it out on your bingo card. Fake punt, fake PAT, field goal. I think what we're missing right now is a kick return. As our cameraman mentions, a pitchy woo-woo. Maybe a Philadelphia special. Okay, I stand corrected. I've seen literally everything. But it's been an exciting first half, and one that I think, despite a 21-0 start by the Orem Tigers, we've seen the Cedar Valley Aviators squad fight their way back into it. And, it's 38-7 on the scoreboard, but this one feels like it's been a much tighter contest in the second quarter.
Absolutely. Yes, it's 38-7, but I do like what I've seen from this Cedar Valley offense, specifically in the second quarter.
Well, you take that first quarter off the board, and it's trying to do math on the fly here, but it's only 17-7.
Into the end zone. That'll be out for a touchback, and so still with 1 tick left on the clock, surely the Aviators will just come out, take a knee. They get the ball to start the second half. No need to risk it.
Yeah, no risk it for no biscuit here. And this one, it's one of those situations where the potential risk far outweighs whatever reward you might be able to get. And really, we haven't seen the level of explosive plays from this Aviators offense to really indicate that they have something they could do. Last time tried to run the hitch and pitch there and just not able to execute on that one. So take the knee or run the ball here and then get back into the locker room and see what you can come up with for the second half.
Johnson will take a knee, and that'll take us to the halftime break. Again, the Orem Tigers up 38-7 here against Cedar Valley. Second half action. Don't go nowhere. Second half action. When we return, Alex Napoles, Brian Brown, it's the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, as always presented by Heinemann & Associates. Alex Napoles, Brian Brown, Eagle Mountain is the place. Orem Tigers taking on the Cedar Valley Aviators here in Region 7. Orem leads it 38-7 as we get the second half underway, as that ball booted through the end zone and out for a touchback, and we'll have a chance to see the Cedar Valley side come out for their first drive of this second half.
First down, Cedar Valley.
And we'll see what the Aviators are able to do here in the second half, Alex, as they managed a touchdown there in the second quarter. Had three really solid drives. A couple fell just short of converting a fourth down, and another where they failed on a hook and ladder here on the near sideline that might have gotten them another score.
First down coming up for the home side. It'll be Johnson going under center as he takes the snap. Handoff to Laws. Laws out to the right. Trying to stretch out and does. Gets it out. Pass up the sideline and pushed out of bounds. Good carry from Laws here on first down. It'll be enough for a first down.
Yeah, it's a great run by Laws, but also great execution up front, all the way from the offensive line to Murdoch, who has played kind of everywhere tonight. Tight end, he plays in the slot, splits out wide, and just does a great job of setting the edge on that one that allows Laws to bounce outside, pick up the first down. Now he'll get a breather here.
Johnson again goes under center. This time handoff to Christensen. Cole Christensen trying to bounce out, and this time met by a swarm of Tigers, but again, a good gain on first down.
Yeah, really nice job by Cole Christensen. Just follow his blockers, right? Opening some pretty good holes early on here, and you can see the Aviators have come out with some purpose. They want to establish the run game, and mentioned this in the first half. These long, sustained drives really wear down a defense, especially over the course of a game. And as the play count starts to get higher and higher for the Orem Tigers, it's going to allow Cedar Valley to do more and more. And the wind is almost not a factor at this point, which is amazing considering how the game started.
Johnson this time will roll out to his left, looking to go deep through the hands of Murdoch, and incomplete.
He had Murdoch there on the second level. It's a great executed play. Just a little waggle action as he's rolling out. And he has one deep receiver, one shallow, and one coming across the middle. Just not able to hit Murdoch in rhythm. And coming out of halftime, that's one of those throws that can go either way, really. And we've seen Johnson be so accurate all night long.
11:02 left to go here in the third. Johnson again goes under center. He'll take the snap. A draw just right up the middle as the QB tries to sneak it for the first, and does. First down for the Aviators is Johnson with the QB sneak.
And that's the luxury of getting 8 yards on first down in the run game. When it comes, you can take that, I don't want to say risk, but take that shot on second down. And allows you plenty of options in the playbook. And they just quarterback snuck that one for a first down, and So Orem Tigers defense has not come out as fired up as they did in the first half.
It'll be first down coming up for the Aviators. Ball on the 45-yard line. Snap to Johnson. Goes out quickly to McClellan, and McClellan out of bounds with a 4-yard on the catch.
It's just an easy pitch and catch. If a team's going to allow you that kind of cushion, go ahead and take advantage of it. And that's really what Cedar Valley has done all game long. I'm not sure if it's just Orem in their base defense or if they have just that much respect for the deep ball, and Johnson has the iron pylon, so there's no doubt that there is some level of respect, but they're willing to give up those little 4 or 5 yard chunks almost every time.
Second down coming up for the Aviators. Johnson will hand it off to Christensen. Christensen finds space, finds a hole, pushes through, and it's a first down for the Cedar Valley Aviators.
For Cedar Valley.
Great start here for Cedar Valley as they're well across the 50-yard line in midfield stripe, and the shape of this game changes completely if they're able to get a touchdown on this opening drive, and then it becomes more about the game of field position and everything else. And again, just want to emphasize the wind has almost completely died, and so this is going to be a very different affair now that Cedar Valley's found this rhythm and this confidence.
For a second there was concern that Trevor Allen would fly away with the wind, and now there's no wind. Cole Christensen right up the middle as he's brought down. Good game here on first for Cole Christensen.
I forgot to remind Trevor ahead of time this is no fly zone. I would have had him. I'm not going anywhere, my guy. If there's any wind that can pick the both of us up, houses would be going with it. Yeah.
Second down coming up for Cedar Valley. Big shout out to Trevor, who's on camera for us tonight.
Does a phenomenal job.
As ball on the 37, Landon Johnson will send his receiver in motion. That's Ballard. Handoff. No, keeper as Johnson is going nowhere. He's going to be sacked.
Guess who? Riker Mickelson right there with the sack, and he's done a phenomenal job coming off the edge almost all game long, but that one looked like he came up the middle to get the sack, and Johnson almost able to escape from his clutches, but just a perfectly timed pressure from Orem brought him right when they needed a big play, gets the sack, and that's a big loss for Cedar Valley. Now they're in third and extra long, and this gets much dicier, although the way we've seen Johnson play tonight, I got plenty of confidence that he can find somebody.
Mickelson said, that's enough. You've got enough yards. Now it's my turn as he makes the play, and that ball over the middle, tipped away by the Tigers. It looks like that came off the fingertips of Tassini, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, Johnson had to avoid the rush to get that one out of there. Can't tell if the ball was tipped coming out of his hand, but Tassini almost able to get his hands on it as well, and by the end of it, McClellan not able to reel it in, and what started out as such a promising drive ends now for the Cedar Valley Aviators.
Drive stalls out, and here comes number 7, Braden Jenkins, out to punt this one away.
Unfortunately, Cedar Valley is going to take a penalty on this one as Jenkins was aware of a missing player, was pointing to the spot, not able to make it out in time, and so we'll see how that affects things here. If you're Orem, that may entice you just that much more to go after the punt here, because even if it is a roughing penalty, it wouldn't be the full 15 yards, although I do believe that may be an automatic first down at the high school level.
Still players in motion here before the punt. Jank barely gets that one off. Orem brought the pressure. Fielded at the 20 by Curtis. Curtis up the sideline, gets a good return, and finally wrestled down.
Curtis with a monster stiff arm. Beckham Curtis, just a sophomore. He plays with zero fear on that one, able to take on a Cedar Valley defender or two as well at the end of that and get a few extra yards. And talked about it earlier in the previous drive. For Cedar Valley, it's about field position and starting to get into that one. And it started out so promising, has really turned quickly now as Orem has the ball at the 37-yard line with 8 minutes to go.
Here's a chance now to see Kava and this offense come out for their first drive of the second half. Hand off to who else but Iongi, who runs it up the middle and gets 2 on the game.
I actually think that was...
yes. That was Oliver Bills.
Yeah, Iongi's out here at the wide receiver position, so getting both involved in the offense. And we talk about Iongi and just his versatility. If there are college coaches out there watching, I understand the concerns with size, but this kid can do everything. He's been in the slot, he's been in the backfield. He can probably throw the ball too, we just don't know about it.
And most importantly for the purposes of this game, 5 touchdowns. Iongi now cuts out to his right with a big gain, and he's going to be brought down.
Comparatively, that's not going to look like a big deal, but they had him stopped in the backfield for no gain, and he still falls forward for 6 yards, Alex. I know when you have 5 touchdowns, 6 yards doesn't feel like much, but that just speaks to his ability, and he is just this constant whir of motion. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog out there, just
that's a great comparison.
Spinning, picking up rings.
That is a great comparison for Iongi. Sonic Iongi. We'll take this. We'll have the ball now up the middle. He gets the first and more as he escapes.
Well, he's picking up Cedar Valley defenders like rings out there on that one. He's pushing a pile of 5 or 6 guys forward, and it's not a knock against Cedar Valley. They're doing the best they can, and they've actually done a really good job. But Iongi, just that ball of not even hate, just ball of energy.
After the big run from Iongi, the energy here at Cedar Valley has just escaped the stadium. That ball deep through the fingertips of Akana and incomplete.
I haven't seen Kava miss too much on balls, and that one just a little bit outside the fingertips of Akana there, but they have a great rhythm, have all game. It's just a rare one time where they weren't able to connect for whatever reason, but this is just, that play should just really showcase the potential and the explosiveness of this Orem offense. And Coach Lance Reynolds has done a great job.
Akana before tonight's game, 901 yards, 13 touchdowns. Drop back, handoff up the middle. I believe that's Curtis as he tries to barrel through. And he's going to be met at the line. Maybe 1 on the gain for Brandon Curtis.
It wasn't Curtis. That was, it was Curtis. I haven't seen him at the running back spot a lot tonight. Mostly just in the return game, but there's a penalty on the play, and this one's going to get backed up for Orem significantly here. Just love and positivity for an offensive line, really, for Orem too. That's got a really mixed bag of older and younger players, but they're just massive. They've done a really good job of not reaching out and grabbing too much tonight.
Hey, how about this one? Maple Mountain at the half, 24-14 over Springville here in Region 7. And the ball, Kaava saves that one, and he's able to barrel through, and Kaava's slow to get up.
I wonder if that's one of those ones where he just fell on top of the ball and kind of got the wind knocked out of him a little bit as he's walking his way back to the huddle, and averts a major disaster. But now all of a sudden Orem has found themselves in 3rd and very long. That Cedar Valley defense has done well when they've been able to pin their ears back. We'll see what they can come up with right now.
Kava drops back. The pressure's coming. He has to escape out to his right. Cuts back out to his left. Has time and space now. Tries to get it up to Akana. Hits the turf. Incomplete. But a flag comes out.
This is going to be a tough one because you're seeing defenders for Cedar Valley pleading with the white hat up here near the midfield stripe. The penalty was committed down here in the secondary. It was just one of those balls where it was underthrown, and so the defender's in good position to go after the ball, but it just, because it was underthrown, there was so much contact that back judge feels compelled to throw the flag. I don't know that if you'd had another official here on that angle, if that's a flag that gets thrown. But again, given the position of the official where he's at, just kind of has to throw that one. And it looks like that's going to be enough to at least give them 3rd and short now for Orem. So Cedar Valley a chance to stop here, but what a critical penalty.
Big break for Orem. As that one felt incomplete. It was 3rd and very long. Now it's 3rd and 2. Kaava keeps. He runs up the middle, escapes out to his right, wrestled down, but plenty for the first down.
Boy, you see what they're doing now with the Youngie. He's almost being used as a decoy, trying to suck that defense in, and creates a nice gap there where Kaava can just zip inside and pick up the first down. Thought he might have been able to get a few more yards, but running just a little tentatively there. You have to wonder if that previous play where he was a little slow to get up is sticking with him a little bit more mentally.
Under 5 now here at Cedar Valley High School. In the 3rd quarter, Tigers lead at 38-7. Kaava out quickly to Akana. Akana with the spin. Akana out to the sideline. And Akana takes it to the house. Touchdown, Tigers.
What a job standing and delivering. Taden Kaava finds Kawe Akana. Oh, goodness. So now when the touchdown wiped off the board because of the penalty.
That's on us.
Well,
it happens to us once every game, Brian.
just as I'd been complimenting that Orem offensive line, we're starting to get a little sloppy here and get a little too grabby. Yeah, it's not enough love. Too much love and positivity.
Too much hugs.
Yeah, too many hugs.
First down and long. Ball on the 38. They need 20 here for the first. Kaava will pitch it out to Iongi. This time has nowhere to go as he's quickly met by a swarm of Aviators. Or excuse me, that's Curtis. Bills, that's Bills.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of rotating people through there. See, Iongi's playing a little bit more in the slot, but Bills does a good job of at least trying to get some of the yardage back. Cedar Valley just had that one sniffed out right off the bat. This defensive unit is growing more and more confident throughout the game, and just when we thought that maybe Orem was about to put this one away, they're now looking at 2nd and 22.
2nd and very long here for the Tigers. Kaava drops back, the pressure's coming, and he gets it out, and it is incomplete, intended for Akana. He brings it in, but can't stay in bounds. Kaava slow to get up after the play.
Yeah, a great job on the pressure there by Cedar Valley, and he just gets caught right as he's throwing it in that exposed area. And for those of us who have never played quarterback, or for those of you who have never played quarterback, it's that open rib cage area that gets so painful to take those hits. And for now it's 3rd and 22. That's a great job by Cedar Valley to stand up and defend on that one.
Kaava back up on his feet now, ready to lead his team here on 3rd and very long. They need 22 for the first. Ball on the 41. Kaava drops back, screen pass out to Bills. Bills finds room, finds space. Bills cuts back inside, and Bills takes it into the end zone off the screen. That one is a touchdown.
Orem High School, number 9, Oliver Bills. Number 13,
Oliver Bills has been watching Fletty Iongi do it all year long. When he gets the opportunity, he does not miss. And he scoots in there for 6.
Good play by the Tigers, and even better from Bills as he just breaking tackles, makes a couple of guys miss, finds the end zone, and extends the Tiger lead. Akana with the PAT. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And it is 45-7. Orem Tigers lead it. We're going to take a quick step away here on the Rewind Sports Network. Ball booted away by the Tigers. That one goes out of bounds just right there at the 1. Different kicker this time, as it looks like that was Chase Horn to boot that one away.
And as we hit the magic number 45-7, you may start to see a little bit of some personnel swapping going on for the Orem Tigers now. Cedar Valley going to start this drive out of the 35-yard line. We've seen them previously, once they get that good field position, they've been able to move the ball against this Orem Tigers defense. It's really been finishing drives that's been the difficulty.
So, Brian, let's take a look at what we have going on here in Region 7. At the top of the table, Timpview at 2-0. The Orem Tigers at 2-0 as Laws will run this one up the middle, and he's almost gets the first. We'll see where they spot him. The officials have him spotted past the line again.
Yeah, he for sure had a first down on that one, but then just kind of jumped back, and almost like he was trying to avoid the defender on that one. Watching the tape on Saturday or Monday, whenever they get together, that'll be a coaching point for sure for Cedar Valley, that just keep lowering the head when you've got that much contact in front of you. Unfortunately, there's an Orem Tiger down. I hope this is just a cramp.
So with the player down, we'll take another step away here on the Rewind Sports Network. See the Orem player back on his feet, walking over towards the sideline after the injury timeout. We'll have a 1st and 10 coming up here for the Cedar Valley Aviators. Receiver goes in motion. Johnson takes the snap. He'll pitch it out to Cole Christensen. Christensen takes it up, and Christensen here gets just short of the first, and another Tiger down behind the play.
It looks like there were 2 Tigers that got nicked up on that one, and this one right there at midfield, and that looks like it is a painful injury. And it looks like a cramp again, and for anybody, that's one of those rare football injuries that we've all experienced at some point in time. You get that thing stretched out and get some pickle juice in you for sure.
As the trainers head out to check on the Tiger player down, we'll go ahead and we'll take a step away here on the Rewind Sports Network. Good to see the Tiger player back up on his feet. Cole Christensen here with the carry as he gets enough for the first. The Aviators marching down the field.
An interesting move is Christensen's taking the direct snap there. I didn't see anything wrong with Johnson necessarily. Didn't see him get hurt, but I wonder if this is just a developmental procedure as there we see Johnson come back in the game. But nice little wrinkle there for Cedar Valley, and it's one of those, for a team that's hopeful to make the playoffs in Cedar Valley, it's a wrinkle that could get them a playoff win and build some real momentum for next season.
Ball snap. Johnson with taking it out. Quick out to Murdoch. Murdoch cuts up. Murdoch trying to find some more yardage, and he's going to be wrestled down. Good pitch and catch here for Johnson and Murdoch.
Yeah, that's a nice job by a guy who's basically played everywhere tonight. He plays inline at the tight end position. He's just a little flare route. Does a good job of cutting up field, and that for a bigger guy is a difficult move, but you can see the agility there. Gets 5 yards on it, and 45-7. You kind of thought maybe Cedar Valley would take a step back, but they are still competing like they have. It's not like an impressive, explosive highlight play, but it's impressive to see that kind of grit and competitiveness.
Hand off to Laws. Laws bounces out to his right, and just short of the first down. The spot is short, so it'll bring up 3rd down for Cedar Valley with 45 seconds left to go here in the 3rd.
3rd and very short, so you may see the QB sneak again here, may see something else. It's definitely 4-down territory for the Aviators, though. It looks like they will be able to get this play off before the quarter expires.
15 seconds left on the play clock. 27 left on the game clock. Johnson will go under center. Keep an eye on that sneak. Johnson. He'll hand it off. No, he'll keep. No, he'll hand it off to Laws. And Laws finds room out to his left. Gets plenty for the first. And a good play here from the Aviators.
Number 8,
that will take us into the end of the third. It is 45-7 as we head to the break. Fourth quarter action. Don't go anywhere when we return. Alex Napolis, Brian Brown, and the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heinemann Associates, Alex Napolis, Brian Brown. Johnson will now logo for the end zone. Batted away. Who else? Mickelson making a huge play for the Orem Tigers.
It was getting awkward because we hadn't called Riker Mickelson's name in such a long time, but a great call coming out of the break. Cedar Valley there. We'll pick up the first down third quarter, flip the field, and then all of a sudden you throw a nice... I thought maybe they would go for the big play previous. Instead, that one was just a sweep. Go for it on this one, and just not able to finish it. And I'll tell you what, Riker Mickelson is one of those guys that the term playmaker is a perfect application for.
Second down coming up for the Aviators as Johnson will hand it off to Laws. Laws trying to find some room out to his left, but he's going to be brought down.
Number 8, Ethan Laws with the run.
Laws has really picked it up here in the later part of the game as we have an Aviator down now this time, and it's getting to that point in the game where starting to see a few guys get dinged up.
And so while the training staff here for the Cedar Valley Aviators trot onto the field, we'll take a quick step away on the Rewind Sports Network. Good to see Aiden Stoner walk back up onto the sideline as he receives further evaluation here from the athletic trainers at Cedar Valley High School. It'll bring up third down for the Aviators. Johnson will take the snap. He'll roll out to his right, gets it out to Murdoch. Murdoch with the first down, trying to find more yards, tiptoeing up the sideline and goes out of bounds. Murdoch with a big play.
Murdoch's had a few plays where they just haven't been able to connect, but when he gets the ball in his hands, you can see what a difference maker he is. Able to pick up the first down, hit Cedar Valley inside the 10-yard line. Now they've got a first and goal here with 10 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter, and never say never in terms of the game being out of reach, but I think the bigger feather in the cap for Cedar Valley tonight is just the continual emergence of this offense.
Good resiliency from the Aviators is what we've seen as Laws trying to find the corner of the end zone. He's in. Aviator touchdown.
I don't know if Aiden Laws knows much about how you're supposed to serve revenge, but he was dishing out resiliency with that play. It was a toasty dish of it as he thunders in for the touchdown.
Aiden Laws with touchdown number 3 on the year. Cedar Valley with their second touchdown of the night. Jenkins out for the PAT, but the flag comes out. I believe that's a delay, Brian. False start. False start will push back the Aviators. Still an opportunity here for Braden Jenkins to put this one through the uprights. Still trying to get things sorted out after the penalty. And now here comes Jenkins. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. It's no good as it goes wide.
No good.
Just
25 seconds.
We kind of hit, I don't want to call it garbage time in this game, but
High School, 45.
you see the missed PAT. You've been dealing with the wind all night long, and now that it's died down, you get the penalty and then miss the PAT. It's one of those just bewildering plays, and it's part of what we love about this game, Alex. You never know what's going to happen on any given night, any given moment, unless it's Filete Yongi, and then you know that there's probably going to be touchdowns.
So it is 45-13. Brian, let's take a look at some scenarios here in Region 7. Again, Timpview in first with 2-0. Orem in second at 2-0. Maple Mountain in third with 2-1. Springville in fourth with 2-1. But the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles up 31-14 over Springville. Timpview up on Wasatch 41-14, and Orem, of course, 45-13. So that's going to set up a very interesting conclusion here. Obviously, Orem still has to get through Springville, but right now the only undefeateds in this region, Orem and Timpview.
Yeah. And it's going to be we see the onside kick. Oh!
Onside, and that's going to be recovered.
Aviator football.
Aviators.
Hold on. You see again, right as I'm talking about it, poor Alex is looking ahead, trying to talk about Orem, Timpview, and Cedar Valley's like, no, we still got 8 to play.
We do. We still have time.
Sorry, I said 8. 6:30 on the clock over there. Cedar Valley comes out to offense, and if we're watching at home wondering why the clock is moving so fast, we are in running clock territory. And so if they do score another touchdown here, that would negate the running clock.
Well, it would not actually. Excuse me.
First down coming up for Cedar Valley as Johnson rolls out to his his left, and he's going deep. It is through the hands of Mickelson, and it falls incomplete.
So just a refresher of the rule, the lead must get down to 21 points in order for the running clock to stop. And so you're wondering why Cedar Valley's coming out and throwing the ball, trying to get a big chunk back right away. They are a little bit under the gun, so to speak, as that clock ticks. They want to climb back into this one.
5:30 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Johnson will take the snap. He'll hand it off to Laws. Laws to the left. He's going nowhere. Swallowed in the backfield.
Yeah, great job there by number 33, Tassini, who's kind of been all over the place tonight. Had his hands on a would-be interception that he couldn't quite complete. Does a great job of stopping that one in the middle of the field. And Laws had started to find some momentum and nothing doing on that play.
Third down coming up now for Cedar Valley. Johnson with two receivers lined up to the near side. One goes in motion. That's McClellan in motion. Now going out deep. Caught by Pearson and wrestled out of bounds, but short of the first. No, he's got it. The spot comes in late, but he's got it.
Pearson with the catch. And those yards are enough for Cedar Valley.
And just a nice job by Pearson to reel in the pass, but also get the first down. And again, it's just such a simple ability to fall forward. But so many times it's a positive skill set to have. Cedar Valley, there's just no quit in this team. I love it.
Johnson again quickly back to the line as he takes the snap. He'll roll out to his right. Looking to get it out quick. Does. Caught again by Pearson. As he gets the first.
And Johnson pays the price again as he gets two hands in the back, pushed down as he's rolling out there. But tell you what, Landon Johnson, just a junior, 5'10", 170. But he is tough as nails out there and pops right back up and says, we got one more in us.
Another first down coming up. Three receivers line up to the near side for Cedar Valley. Johnson drops back. The pressure coming. Has to get it out quick to Laws off the screen. Laws gets the first. Laws cuts inside. And a huge gain for Laws on first down.
I just can't talk enough about Landon Johnson on that one. He's drawing the defense and waiting it out. He knows he's probably going to get creamed at some point. Just draws the play out long enough. able to throw over the top of Laws, and then Laws does what he's done all game and turns a good gain into a bigger one, and Cedar Valley right back within the 10-yard line, threatening to score.
First down coming up, but prior to a timeout taken. Look, Brian, the resiliency and the inability to quit from the Cedar Valley side has been incredibly impressive tonight.
It really has, and this is a younger football team, Alex. You know, maybe this year isn't their year, but they've got a lot of talent on this roster, and they've got an opportunity to really build towards the end of this season, maybe sneak into the playoffs, see what they can do there, and build towards next year as well. And you know, this is a program in an area that's very invested from a community standpoint. Saw the stands were jam-packed all game long. For those that weren't able to tune in or tuned out at halftime, you know, the performances of the cheerleaders and the dance team involved, youth all the way down. We've seen the Little League team, and so a proud community and a proud program, and they're not just building for today, they're building for the future.
Impressive, not only from the team on the field, from the fans, from the community tonight here at Cedar Valley. You have Brian and Alex's stamp of approval.
The only thing we didn't get was a full band performance at halftime, but we got that pregame. So
We did. Maybe for next time, Cedar Valley. First down. Johnson takes a snap out quickly. Looking intended there for receiver number 3. That is Bridger Dastrup, as it falls incomplete.
And that might be the one time where I didn't love a call tonight for Cedar Valley, where you just everything was going towards the middle, and this short of field, there's just not as much space to cover. I'd like to see him work a little slip screen or something like that out here. Now, this look, you have a wide open field now.
Johnson trying to get it out quickly to McClellan, but it goes through his hands. Could have been dangerous, but it falls to the turf.
And again, this is where you see why Coach Reynolds calls the timeout there, right? Try to get your defense to catch their breath, really tighten up here. You do not want to allow another score, not because the outcome of the game is at all in jeopardy, but it's a point of pride. Cedar Valley has not stopped. You said it, Alex. They've been resilient all game long, continue to bounce back. So where is your pride as an Orem Tiger player? And they're about to show it right here.
Third down coming up, ball on the 9-yard line. They need, obviously, 9 to get into the end zone. Johnson drops back, out quickly. Pearson through the hands and incomplete.
Just been a couple of those bobbles tonight. I think Cedar Valley is going to finally take a timeout. And I think the unfortunate thing is this is just too little too late. The running clock's going to do this one in. But a really valiant performance from the Cedar Valley Aviators. And we can talk about the specifics about whether or not you want to go for it here on 4th down. I don't know how much it really matters in the grand scheme of things, but I think what does matter is that this was a team that competed throughout the game, and even though the score got out of hand early, it always felt like it was a close game.
It absolutely did. You had the big breakout in the first quarter from Orem, but since that first quarter, Cedar Valley has been going toe-to-toe with this Orem side.
They really have, and we haven't seen a ton of Faleti Youngie in the second half, and I think that's partially by design. He did so much of his work early in the first, and I can hear parents at home saying, this is why we tell our kids to do their homework early, get it done so you can relax, but it's not so different in football.
4th down play coming up, and they're just going to put it through the uprights as Braden Jenks comes out for the field goal attempt. The ball is snapped, the kick is up, and the kick is good as Jenks gets 3 on the board for Cedar Valley. All right, Brian, scenario time.
Just kind of curiosity. Sorry to interrupt you there, Alex. I don't know why the clock continued to run after the field goal, but the officials also saw that as well. Change of possession, turnover and downs, the clock does need to stop. So anyways, scenario time.
Scenario time. There's 2 undefeateds left in Region 7. That is Timpview. That is Orem. Next week...
Who could have guessed?
Next week, the Orem Tigers will, of course, face off against the Springville Red Devils. Timpview has a matchup against Maple Mountain, who is still in the race as well.
Yes.
And then you have the grand finale, the culmination, Timpview Orem. But those games next week are so important in this race, Brian. Maple Mountain has a chance, and Springville, even though they're losing tonight against Maple Mountain, they still have a chance if they can knock off Orem next week.
But it could end up with one of those teams losing two games in a row, seeing how Orem and Timpview plays each other. So to your point, as the Tigers recover the onside kick, it's almost a critical game for both teams, because you can't, if you don't get through those, then the grand finale, so to speak, doesn't have the same meaning, as it's still just a jam up there. And so it really makes this Region 7 race very compelling in that regard, but not surprising. There's a lot of good programs out here.
Maple Mountain has been really solid this year. I like what I've seen from the Golden Eagles this year.
Credit to Coach Hall and his staff. They've really built a culture out there and built that program up. No doubt there's a lot of support, but they've turned it into a competitive contender out there. And it's, for a Maple Mountain program that doesn't have a lot of history, that's a really strong endorsement of his and his staff's hard work.
And for Lance Reynolds, second year as Orem, we mentioned it earlier, 5-7 last year. What a bounce back year it has been for the Orem Tigers, though, as they will now improve to 7-1.
Yeah, tough year last year. A lot of injuries as the time ticks off the clock, and this one, the Orem Tigers will get out of here with a victory, a hard-earned victory, even though the score may be misleading to a lot of people who didn't tune into the game. And they have really done a great job. Coach Reynolds taking a program that's kind of done and been everywhere in terms of players and involvement, really found and built a good culture. And when you talk about the title race, state championship, it's hard to imagine that the Orem Tigers don't play a factor one way or another.
All right, the moment everybody's been waiting for tonight. Brian Brown, who is the MVP?
Yeah, I think, should we do it at the same time? No, just kidding. It's Lenny Yangi. I don't think there's any argument about that one. It was a fantastic game, and he didn't score a touchdown in the second half. Oh no, but he had 5 in the first, so we'll give him a pass on that one. We talked about having it due to the game, but I want to know who else stood out to you tonight, Alex?
I think the easy answer is Mickelson. Mickelson was all over the field on the defensive side of the ball, and I think Mickelson was probably my go-to for due to the game. But for Alex's player of the game, can we do the entire Cedar Valley offense?
I love that pick. I was going to say Landon Johnson, but I like that even more because I think, to your point, that offense was gritty and tough all night long. And it was a team effort from everybody up front, running backs, wide receivers, all of them. So great choice by you.
Brian, as always, a pleasure sharing this space with you, man. It's always the best time up here, and I love having the ability to be out here and call these games with you, man.
Hey, good job by you.
That's going to do it for us here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heidemann Associates. Again, Alex Napolis, Brian Brown, a big shout-out to Trevor Allen on the camera for us tonight. And from the entire Rewind Sports family, we thank you for watching. Everyone get home safe, and we'll see you next time.